All right, welcome. Glad you guys are with us. We were on the air last night until almost 11 p.m. Central. We had a wonderful post-debate panel. Colonel Rob Maness, Leo Holman, myself, and Doug Billings. The full post-debate panel is available on demand for you to watch later. We played a ton of video clips, including CNN, MSNBC, and a bunch of them melting down, admitting this guy's in trouble. Well, they all knew that, folks. This is just a big, big production. This was a made-for-television production to allow the guy to fail miserably. So they have the appearance now, I believe, of saying, let's be good to Joe Biden. He served his country well, and it's time to be humane and kind and to, let him go into retirement. Well, that's what apparently they want to do. The question is there a battle going on between the establishment and Jill Biden? Because apparently Jill, Dr. Jill, as they call her, is very much the one running the country from what we're being told, at least in the sense of making sure that he stays in power. She's the one that took him last night right away to another room. I guess they had a planned little party for him right after the debate. And in that room, she proceeded to tell him what a great job he did, that he answered all the questions. It was very cringy, but she was the one that grabbed him off the stage, took him right to this room where they announced this fact that, that he did such a wonderful job. In fact, here's the video, here's the audio. Listen to this, folks.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the...
You did a great job. You knew all the answers. You answered every question. So there you go. And now we're hearing today he's back on the road and stating that I don't do very good at debates like I used to do. So right now we don't see any signs of this guy stepping aside. You have to wonder if the cabinet's going to use the 25th Amendment or not. I don't know. Let's see how this all plays out. But at least when it comes to the media and it comes to the establishment, I believe their agenda was to lay the narrative like we didn't already know the narrative. But again, there are a lot of people that are unplugged, that don't pay attention to things like you and I do. So to make sure the country all knew this is his condition, now it's time for him to step aside. In fact, it's the gracious thing to do, the kind thing to do, the generous thing to do. So the question is he going to go? Or is Jill, going to hold the reins of power and keep this elder abuse going? Joining me now to discuss this and much more, including what's happening in the Middle East and Bible prophecy, is none other than Dr. Andy Woods. Can you guys put me in that monitor right there, please? So I can see Dr. Woods. Is Dr. Andy Woods, attorney, pastor, seminary president, father, husband, pastor, author, expert on the Middle East and Bible prophecy, Dr. Woods. Dr. Woods, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for that generous introduction. You left out apostle and prophet.
We don't believe in modern day prophets and apostles. Thanks for being with us, Dr. Woods. My next guest is... No, he's just joking. We don't believe in modern day prophets or apostles. Unless you mean apostles in the little a sense, messengers, which is the original meaning too. Messengers like missionaries. Then we believe in them.
Yeah, you can be an apostle in the sense that you were sent.
Yeah, apostle of the church.
And you could be a prophet in the sense that you're proclaiming, a
warning,
a closed canon of scripture.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. We don't have prophets today that are, direct conduits from God. And we don't have apostles who were the foundation of the church. You can't lay a foundation twice.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to someone about this today who's a friend of mine. And I said, look at all these guys. They get them wrong. You only get one wrong. You get one wrong, you're a false prophet, a false apostle, right? Well, since you're not someone that sees into the future, all we have to do here is can guess. What did you make of last night? Did you watch it, and what do you think is coming?
Well, I did watch it. I watched the whole hour and a half. To me, a goof up like that, I agree with what you said earlier. A goof up like that is not, at that level of politics, can't be accidental. I mean, they couldn't have messed it up this bad. So I believe it is intentional. And I have this tweet here from Vivek Ramaswamy, one of the things I agree with him on. He said in this tweet, "What we witnessed tonight wasn't an accident. It was intentional. Brace yourself for a wild 5 months ahead, close quote. And I think I would have to agree with him. I think that's the best political analysis I've seen, that they're laying some sort of foundation, some sort of pretext to remove Joe Biden and maybe put in kind of a Joe Biden 2.0, a younger version. I think the governor of California would be a prospect, Governor Gruesome or Newsom, however you say his name. And so I just don't think they can win with what they have, and so they're going to do some kind of switcheroo.
Well, here is what Newsom had to say last night. Listen to this.
You were out there getting a chorus of questions about whether Biden should step down. There is panic that has set in. There is panic that has set in among people who have watched this debate, who are Democrats, people who are strategists, and some even inside Democratic campaigns. Yeah. Do you think it's unfounded?
Well, I think it's unhelpful, and I think it's unnecessary. We've got to go in and got to keep our heads high. And as I say, we've got to have the back of this president. You don't turn your back because of one performance. What kind of party does that? It's been a masterclass. 15.6 million jobs. That's 8 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents combined. The only thing the last 3 Republican presidents have in common is recessions. Democrats deliver. This president has delivered. We need to deliver for him at this moment. With all due respect, the more.
Well, there you go. All right. So, and there he is at the debate in Atlanta. He's from California, so there he is. Why is he there? Is he there again to get FaceTime on TV and to say this, which sounds, again, like a guy that doesn't want it? And isn't that what the voters want? They want someone who doesn't want it. It's going to be thrust upon him. Okay, so he's setting the narrative. Narrative is being set. He wants to back Biden. He didn't want this. And, well, I've been on record. I didn't want this. I felt like we should back Joe Biden. He's done a great job. But I've been asked to do this, and so I will serve my country. I mean, the narrative is being so laid right now, don't you think?
Yeah, and 5 months is an infinity in the world of politics. And I just can't help but note the blatant hypocrisy of these people. I remember when Nancy Reagan at the ranch there with Ronald Reagan, like finished one sentence of his. He left out a word or something, and she added it, and everybody just went hysterical. And now you've got a guy that literally, it would be a relief to the Democrats if Joe Biden couldn't finish one sentence.
This is what you're talking about. Here it is. Okay.
Anything you can do to get them to the end?
Let me back it up so you can pull it up. The media shoots a question at him. He doesn't seem to know how to answer, and she tells him what to say.
Is there anything you can do to get them to the end?
Doing everything we can.
Doing everything we can.
Doing everything we can.
You're disappointed
But better, and she fed him the line. We're doing everything we can. That doesn't mean he had Alzheimer's so bad at that time he couldn't be president. But then when that report came out by his own handwritten letter, hey nation, I'm now been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Then they want to go back and say he was struggling with this all through his presidency. Are you kidding me? We saw how he did in the last debate. We saw him speaking. We saw him regularly. It's nothing compared to what we have seen for the last 4 years under Joe Biden. So she threw him a line. But you would have thought the guy was, again, 25th Amendment should have been put into place right then, right there. So great memory on your part, Dr. Woods.
Yeah, and my wife will finish my sentences sometimes.
Yeah, mine does mine too.
It doesn't mean I have Alzheimer's. Maybe I'm close. I don't know. But I'm in pretty good mental health. And, one little sentence, and here's a guy, Joe Biden last night, it was just unbelievable. I don't know if you caught early on, he was asked a question about abortion.
Yep.
And he just switched topics right in the middle and started talking about immigration. It's like he conflated the numbers from both issues, and he just kind of switched from one topic to the next. And we're like saying, what in the world, just happened there?
He also denied the claim by Donald Trump, which is that these Democrats are for infanticide. They let the baby be born, and they set it aside and decide if they're going to kill it or not. And he was citing the former governor of Virginia. Biden snapped back like that was completely false. It's not false. If anyone types in to a search engine, infanticide in 19 states, Life Site News, you'll come up with an article from a few years ago where 19 states have legalized infanticide, the killing of a baby outside the womb. And of course, there was Joe Biden lying and saying Democrats aren't for that. Well, of course they're for that. They're absolutely for that. Why else would you be for partial birth abortion? The baby is already down the birth canal.